Have you ever been handed a new project, and your first thought is, okay, but what's the budget? It's a question that can feel pretty overwhelming, but you know what? It doesn't have to be. Today, we're going to break down project budgeting into a really simple, straightforward process that, honestly, anyone can master.
So you've got this awesome new project. The team is excited, and then, boom, the budget question lands on your desk. It can feel like you're just staring at a blank page, right? Like, where do you even begin? Well, it turns out there's a really clear two-step approach that just cuts right through all that confusion.
And here it is. This is our game plan. It's just 2 steps. First, we're going to figure out the total cost. That's the how much. And then we're going to phase the funds. That's the when. Simple as that. So let's dive right into step 1. Okay, step 1 is all about nailing down that total cost. And to do that, we have to break down every single thing the project is going to need, from the really obvious stuff to the kind of hidden expenses.
The best way to organize all this is to sort our expenses into 3 main buckets. You've got your direct costs, your indirect costs, and then a really important safety net that we call reserves. Think of these as the basic building blocks for our entire budget.
So let's tackle those first 2 buckets right away. Getting the difference between direct and indirect costs is, and I mean this, absolutely fundamental to building a budget that actually works. So, what's the real distinction here?
A direct cost is pretty much what it sounds like. It's an expense that gets charged directly to your project. This is the money that you, as the project manager, are going to have to ask for and keep track of.
Let's make this real with our example project. We're planning an executive meeting. Things like hiring a contractor for setup, buying supplies, getting beverages, and of course catering, those are all direct costs. They're tied specifically to this one event, and they add up to the $6,000 that the project manager actually needs to budget for.
And then you have the other bucket, indirect costs. Now, these are real expenses that the project benefits from, but they're paid for by somebody else, usually the parent organization. So your project gets all the value, but it doesn't have to pay the bill directly. Back to our meeting example, the venue and the AV equipment come out to $5,000. I mean, that's a huge expense, but the organization is covering it. So you might be asking, why even track it? Well, because including it shows the true total investment and the real value of your project, and that's critical information to have. So when we put them both together, we finally get the full financial picture. The $6,000 in direct costs plus the $5,000 in indirect costs gives us a total project cost of $11,000. Now that number tells the complete story of all the resources being invested here. Okay, so we've added up all the costs we know about. But let's be honest, projects almost never go exactly according to plan. And that's where our third bucket, the reserves, comes into play. This is our all-important safety net.
Now, there are a couple of types of reserves. You've got management reserves for totally unforeseen problems, the unknown unknowns. But the one we're going to focus on today is the contingency reserve. This is a pot of money you set aside for risks you can actually identify, the known unknowns. You know, things like a supplier might be late or the price of materials might go up. We know it could happen, so we plan for it.
So how much money should you actually set aside? Well, a really common rule of thumb, and it's a great place to start, is to calculate 10% of your total direct costs. It's a super simple and effective way to build in a little cushion for those what-ifs.
Remember this number, $6,000. That was our total direct cost from our example. This is the magic number we're going to use for our contingency calculation.
And the math here is really straightforward. We just take our $6,000 in direct costs, multiply that by 10%, and that gives us a contingency reserve of $600. Now, this isn't free money to spend. It's specifically set aside, and you only touch it if one of those risks you identified actually happens.
All right, we've officially finished step 1. We know how much money we need in total. So now it's time for step 2, phasing our funds. This is all about timing. See, it's not enough to just know the total dollar amount. We have to know when we're actually going to need that cash. And listen, this next point is absolutely vital. When you go to ask for your budget, you are only requesting the funds for your direct costs. Why? Come on, you know this one. Because the indirect costs are already paid for by someone else. This is such a common mistake, and it can make your budget request look way bigger than it actually is. So, to figure out our timing, we'll break the whole project down into phases. For our meeting, it's pretty simple. We've got a planning phase on February 15th, the actual day of the meeting on the 20th, and then a little post-meeting wrap-up on the 24th. Now, we just map our direct costs to that timeline.
So we need $2,500 for the planning phase. We need another $2,500 on the day of the meeting itself, and then a final $1,000 to settle up that last catering bill. See how it all still adds up to our $6,000 direct cost? But breaking it down like this gives the finance department a really clear picture of the project's cash flow.
And just like that, you've got it. By following these 2 steps, calculating the total cost, and then phasing your funds, you've gone from that scary blank page to a clear, logical, and totally defensible budget blueprint. So let's just lock in those key takeaways. First, always separate your costs into direct and indirect to see the whole picture. Second, build in that safety net, a 10% contingency reserve based on your direct costs. Third, phase your funding requests so it matches your project's timeline. And finally, and this is the big one, remember to only ask for the money to cover your direct costs.
You know, following this process gives you a super solid budget plan, but it kind of brings up another huge question, doesn't it? We've talked all about how to structure the costs, but how do we even come up with those numbers? Like $2,000 for catering in the first place? Well, that sounds like a topic for another time.